Can't be contained.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the Can't Be Contained podcast. All right, so we are going into our final quadrant of this series, of the Burnout series, which is spiritual burnout. Like how we can really combat spiritual burnout. And we're going to talk about like what even is spiritual burnout. I'm going to give you very tangible, practical tools on how we can really reestablish our connection to source, to spirit, to our energy, to our power, so that we don't feel that feeling of feeling defeated or overwhelmed, or like, you know, that feeling of like, what is all of this for? Like, why am I on this spinning globe in the middle of wherever we are? We're going to answer some of those questions today. And talking about spiritual burnout, one of the most powerful things in my life, like my through line, my consistent thing that I do all the time to reconnect myself back into source so that I don't feel that existential dread or that feeling of like, we're just these little humans on this planet all alone, is breathwork. It really helps me reconnect back into source, and it gives me that felt sense of like, you're not alone. You got this. Everything is working out perfectly for you in perfect timing. So if you are someone who wants that reconnection, wants that feeling, go download the Pause Breathwork app. If you are not yet on the Pause Breathwork app and you want to have 2 weeks free to experience the magic that breathwork is and just feel what it feels like to become fully alive, I'll put a link in the show notes for you. All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Burnout, spiritual burnout. We went through mental burnout, we went through emotional burnout, we went through physical burnout, and now we're here. We're landing this burnout plane in spiritual burnout. It's kind of like that ache that we can't quite name, right? It's almost like there's this slow emptiness that creeps in, right? And I found the times in my life where it was the most confusing is when my life looked so fine from the outside, like looked so perfect from the outside. And it's not just this physical exhaustion. It's not even like mental fog or emotional overwhelm. It's almost like this ache, this like deep ache. It's this feeling of like, I'm disconnected from something deeper. And I think we feel this because we remember what it feels like to be connected, right? Like whenever I have like a really powerful breathwork session or a somatic session or an energy healing session, something happens and I'm like, oh, boom, like there it is. I remember what it feels like to be connected to something greater. And forgetting that you're held, forgetting that you're guided, forgetting that you're never alone. Like that is spiritual burnout. We feel like we're all alone. We got to do it all on our own. And that's when these overachieving, overcompensating, people-pleasing, perfectionist qualities come out, when we realize like, if we take our hands off the wheel, if we stop white knuckling our way through life, we're actually so deeply held, right? So what is spiritual burnout? It's when you live like it's all up to you. Right? It's like you're all grind, you're no grace. It's when you try and carry the weight of the world and you forget that you were never meant to do it, right? I think one of my favorite things is, how can we hold it all, but for it not to be heavy? Can we hold it all, but can we allow it not to be heavy? Yeah, it's like when you try and carry the weight of the world, you forget that you were never meant to, right? It's that moment when you feel disconnected from your purpose, disillusioned by the world, uninspired, you feel numb, you feel lost. It's almost like this feeling of feeling spiritually dry. Like prayer doesn't land and meditation just kind of feels empty and hollow. You're like, hello, God, are you listening to me? Like, what is going on? I remember a couple years ago, I was in Atlanta with Eric. We were on a work trip and I was just feeling so spiritually burnt out. I was like, I am talking to God every single day and I don't hear a thing. Like, where's my intuition at? Like, I was just feeling so human and just forgetting that I was a spiritual being having a human experience. And I just remember lying in the hotel room and I'm like, God, please, where are you? Like, I almost got like mad, right? Spiritual burnout is this like soul exhaustion, that fatigue, right? The fatigue of trying to navigate life without the map of the divine, right? Without that map that's like, hey, here's the vision. Here's where you're at. It's all good. You're all good. Like it's all good. Right? And so this is what happens when we get disconnected from source. When we get disconnected from source, all these things creep in. Dr. Lisa Miller has this epic quote, and she says, spiritual burnout is soul exhaustion, the fatigue of trying to navigate life without the map of the divine. Like, such a good quote to kind of like tie that all together. It's like, we need to have the map of the divine. We need to know that we're supported, we're protected, right? We're not just physical beings or emotional beings. We are wired for connection, right? We're wired to know that there is something so much greater that we're a part of. Like, it's not like there's something so much greater than us. There's something so much greater. There's a force so much greater, and we are a part of it. It is a part of us, right? In her book, The Awakened Brain by Lisa Miller, Dr. Lisa Miller, gosh, I need to get her on this podcast. Lisa Miller, if you are listening to this, can you please come on this podcast? You're so great. She says that people with a strong sense of spiritual connection have 80% greater resilience, lower rates of depression, and just more optimism, more decision making. Like, they're just decisive, they're clear, they're confident. And then when we get severed from source, when we get disconnected from source, our cortisol levels actually spike, right? So when our cortisol levels spike, it's this feeling of like there's no perceived safety. Our nervous system stays in this like hypervigilant survival mode, like go, 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 go. We lose meaning, right? And research shows us that meaning is essential for long-term well-being. And then what happens is we default to over-efforting, over-controlling, and just like over-isolating. You start to think, if I don't hold it all together, everything is just going to fall apart. And that right there is the true lie of spiritual burnout. And the truth is you were never meant to hold it all alone. You were never meant to hold it all alone, and you will die trying, right? I remember when I was younger, around Christmas time, my family used to make like hundreds of sandwiches, and we would walk around downtown and just hand out these paper bags with like sandwiches and socks and candy canes and like juice boxes to like all of the homeless people. And one by one, I handed them out to people who were hungry. But it was more than just that. Something really, truly magical happened. And I was so young, so I got to feel this, and it like imprinted me. I got to have this imprint of what comes alive in the body when we are in service of other people, which in my experience is so spiritual. Like, service is spiritual. Like, I love teaching breathwork. I love even doing this podcast. I love creating content because it's service. It feels spiritual. And I had like such a face-to-face experience of that when I was handing out sandwiches to homeless people, and just like seeing people just light up. It's more than just giving someone some food. It was just like this exchange of just support. Because when we give, when we serve, when we step out of ourselves and step into humanity, something wakes up within us. There's this sense of belonging, it's almost like this aliveness of God moving through our veins, moving through our bodies, God speaking to us in such miraculous ways. And whenever I'm feeling spiritually burnt out, I ask myself, like, what can I do today to support someone else? Maybe it's a gratitude text. Maybe it is going to your local community and handing out sandwiches. Maybe it's donating clothes that you no longer need to a women's shelter. Maybe it's just cooking dinner for a friend. Maybe it's just calling a friend to be like, hey, I know you're going through like a little bit of a hard time. Can I support? Right? Service is not something that we do for others. Service is a sacred act, and it aligns us with who we really are. And the other thing with spirituality and like reconnecting back into spirit, it's not religious. Like, we don't have to subscribe to any sort of religion. It's really about subscribing to the ideology that we are innately spiritual, every single one of us. Every single one of us. We're all spiritual. We're all a part of it. Right? And so when I use the word God in this next section, like, I don't want you to be like, God only belongs to church. Like, I want you to think of like the God in you, the God in me, the God in food, the God in sunlight, the God in energy, the God in our body, right? So surrendering and realizing that there's something greater. There's an invisible force that is so powerful that we get to lean on. We get to ask for support. And burnout happens when we forget that. Right? We grip so hard. Spiritual burnout happens when we grip, when we live like we're the GPS and the car and not the road. Surrender is about saying, I can't see the whole path, but I trust I'm being guided. And I think this is one of the most beautiful things, is like, the how is for God. Like, claim what you desire. Decide what you want. Like, let God do the rest. The moment we surrender is the moment God can step in. Marianne Williamson said that, and it's just So clear, so beautiful, so easy. It's like, get out of the way. Get out of the way. We're spiritually burnt out and we're feeling fatigued and lacking aliveness in life because we're trying to do it all. Right? Ask for signs. You don't need to know the whole plan. Just the next step. Like sometimes I'll be like, hey God, give me a lyric in a song that I'm going to listen to today that just like affirms that I'm on the right path. Show me what I'm not seeing. Like I'm ready to be led. Right? And I often use breath work as prayer. Like the breath is the bridge. And when you breathe with intent, you return to just the present moment. And the present is where God always lives. God's always in the present moment, right? Always right here. Not in the past, not in the future, right here in the present moment. So how can you allow then your breathwork practices to be a devotion? If you're not on the app yet, go get it. Stop what you're doing, stop listening to the podcast and just go download the app, go get your free trial. It will reconnect you to the divine. It's not just a tool to heal, but it's a way for us to really listen. When we empty out, we get to listen. All right, now let's talk about the cost of spiritual burnout, and then we'll talk about the gift that's on the other side. When we stay in spiritual burnout for far too long, we become cynical. You know, we get into like comparisonitis a little bit. You're in burnout, we're in spiritual burnout when you're just comparing yourself to everything. Should I be doing that? Should I make content like that? Should I talk about that? Don't do that. Like the best answers for the content that the world needs from you is going to come from within. Don't look at anyone else's content for inspiration. It's everything you need is here. And when we don't have that connection to the divine that is speaking to us moment by moment of what how we get to show up, how we get to speak, the transmission, we get cynical, we get disconnected, we get distrustful. And in that process, we get deeply, deeply lonely. Here's my invitation to you to consider, to think about. If you are someone who's listening to this podcast and you're like, Sam, I feel this. I feel spiritually burnt out. I feel like I'm doing it all. It's not the end. For me, every single time that I was burnt out, which was multiple times during my career, because I'm a high achiever and I just like think Rome can be built in a day and I just will do everything. I'm learning. But burnout is never the end. It's the doorway back to God, back to source, back to universe, right? It's back to grace, back to guidance. Like when you feel that feeling of just like, oh God, I feel burnt out. Just realize like, oh, this is an invitation to come back into my center. So you're not alone. You're not lost. And if you're listening to this in your car or on a walk and something in you has felt heavy, like lethargic, deep, I want to remind you of something. You're not alone. You're not forgotten. You're not the one trying to hold the whole world together. And if you try, you're gonna get like bloody palms from trying to hold on. There is something greater out there. God, the divine source, love itself, that is holding you. You're not broken. You've just been carrying so much of the wrong shit for far too long. And it's now safe to let it down. Like let it go. Let the chips fall as they may. And just allow yourself to feel held. As I shared at the beginning of this podcast, if you are not yet on the app, you don't have that on-demand connection back into source in your pocket 24/7, then check out the link in the show notes of this podcast, or you can search Pause Breathwork on any app or Android. It's there. There's a free 14-day trial. One of my favorite ones to do if you're just getting on there is Unlock Your Infinite Intelligence, which helps us just get realigned back into our body. It's a really powerful track. So if you're not yet on the Pause Breathwork app, get your booty on there. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you can like, subscribe, and share this, send it to someone who you feel would be beneficial and give context to what they're going through and some ways that they can really start to reactivate their connection back into source. Please send it. It would mean the world to me. All right. Have the most beautiful, inspired day, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.